Alright everyone, thank you for waiting. Again, I want to thank Green Snowdog for the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze Funky mode. There were some audio issues, that's why he was talking to no one, but he was actually talking to me. With that, Metroid Zero Mission is coming up 100% by Boxmeister. I'm gonna bring Boxmeister in, and we're gonna check if he's ready to go. So, Boxmeister, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Wonderful. Are you ready for your run, my dude?
I am definitely ready. Hello,
Okay.
hello.
Then I'm not gonna let you wait for too long. I'm gonna throw you live. And good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Alright, see you around.
See ya. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for some Metroid Zero Mission? Because I am sure as hell am. So let's dive right into it. So we're gonna start this run in 3, 2, 1, go. So Metroid Zero Mission, lovely series, 100%. So we literally have 100 items to collect, and we'll do so in less than 1.5 hours if all goes well. So this game is a remake of the original Metroid for the NES. But they've upgraded it with the more modern Metroid mechanics, such as the ones introduced in Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion. It starts similar. You collect Morph Ball within the first few seconds, and the games are already not cooperating, but that's fine. We'll make it through. Like I said, 100 items. It's a very technical, fast-paced run. Any percent category is about 40 minutes long. World record is 38, so pretty short. Not too much fluff. So we're gonna be able to dive straight into the action. So what you see me do, a couple of things already. You may notice that I'm jumping off the walls. That's the wall jump. If you press away from a wall and press jump, you can jump off a wall and gain height. We do so to scale walls quite fast, and because landing on a platform has an extra animation, is kind of slow. At the same time, if we can reach it in a normal jump, it's faster. And we want to be on the ground as much as we can, so we try to cut our jumps short in order to gain as fast movement as possible. This first mini-boss is an introduction to the missiles we just picked up. It takes 3 missiles to get them down. Older strats would immediately go away, so because we can pick up the charge beam upgrade that's dropped by the boss later. However, recently we found a different setup for which it's more advantageous to actually have the charge beam earlier, to pick it up earlier. And thanks to that, we don't need to worry about our missile count and health count before High Room any longer. Because we always enter it with an optimum amount of missiles and full health. So it's definitely an improvement, because in this hive room you have 3 hives. And each of these hives takes 2 shots and 3 missiles to go down. So if you manipulate your missiles carefully and set things up right, then you can just traverse these platforms in one straight line, and we'll be on our way towards our next upgrade. You notice me picking up several missile packs already on the way. This is nice. For the first part of this run, I want to get as many missiles as I can. Hopefully some of the enemies in the next room also dropped a few missile drops, like that one. Because I'm gonna do a route where I am slightly lower on ammo. But we'll get into that as we get there. And why did I fire that missile there? Anyway, right now we're up to the bombs. Bombs you can lay down in multiple form and
did you sleep at all, by the way, last night?
Blocks you see here. They're used for multitude. They're used plenty throughout the run to uncover these tunnels, but also there's also a technique where if you time your bomb placements correctly, you can gain height as well, and it's used in a couple of locations. There are two route variations after this room from here. One way to use bomb jumps to go up and clean up the top part of Brinstar early, the early Brinstar cleanup, and the late Brinstar cleanup, which is what I'll be doing. Where you immediately go back, pick a missile tank on your way, same one you also pick up in early Brinstar cleanup by the way, and head to the crate area. Well, the advantage of the late Brinstar cleanup is that it's easy. Bomb jump timing can be a bit tricky for newcomers. However, the disadvantage is that you're a bit more stressed for ammo management, as it's a difference of 10 missiles, and those 10 missiles can make your ammo management in the crate area, the next area, a bit more awkward. The mission of this game is the original mission Sam has got is to defeat Metroids and Mother Brain. They are located in Turian, and to enter Turian you need to defeat the two bosses, Crate and Ridley. Now, the developers made this game with speedrunning in mind, actually. You have several shortcuts towards old areas, so you can do the bosses in any order you want, and in fact in any percent we do Ridley first. However, for 100% it's definitely faster to head to the Crate area first, because the upgrade you get after defeating Crate makes it that we can clean the Ridley area in one go, which is useful for 100%. And therefore we have a much more efficient item routing, a much quicker item routing. However, so the Crate area, lovely area. You're normally expected to enter the Crate area after having a visit to Norfair and Criteria, where you get the power grips. And the power grip allows you to grip ledges. However, you don't need to have the power grip area to clear Crate, but as a result, you have to do some bomb jumps in this area to reverse a few jumps where you normally would use the power grip. And we're coming up to one of them, and you also see a demonstration of bomb jumps and diagonal bomb jumps, respectively. So I'll be doing a bomb jump here. Oh, clear that height normally, but I accidentally unmorphed too early. There you go. Second try. And oh, this is where we'll be doing a diagonal bomb jump. There we go. Oops. The reason we go into this direction in the Crate area is that you can fight the boss here to activate the zip lines, and the zip lines allow for easier traversion of the area. In a very old 100% route you would do this much later. However, it's much faster turns out later to do that doing this right now, it's much faster. You saw me farming a few missiles there, that's to make my ammo management a bit more secure. And that's one of the big disadvantages of the late Brinstar route. Luckily, farming missiles there is not too slow. And this boss is really easy, because it takes 30 missiles to go down. Whoops, accidentally got grabbed. That. And what I want after this boss is actually to have 10 misses minimum. I have 13 right now, so I'm fine. Because for a room later into this area, I need 20 missiles. Because there are 2 enemies that each take 10 missiles to go down. However, now that since I have enough missiles, it should be no problem. With the zip lines activated, you can traverse a few areas a little bit quicker. And in any percent, you would actually skip activating the zip lines, because this whole boss and item pickup is a 2-minute detour. However, we do need the items in 100%, and it makes the rest of the area a lot easier, because what you would do in any percent is you would do the so-called acid worm skip trick, where you would use a bomb jump to traverse a gap of the blocks and acid to get across to a ledge. Sounds a bit difficult, but normally what you do is you use these blocks to maneuver, and then you have to bomb jump very precisely off the last one in order to grab the ledge and continue without activating the zip lines. But since it's 100%, we have no need for that, and also that jump bomb jump is a little optimization. And we obviously only go up here to get this item, so we won't have to go back to that later. So yeah, with the diagonal bomb jumps, you can do much of this area without power grip. All of this actually. We do have to get back to the crate area later. We can't clean this up in one go, because you need an endgame item in order to do so. But that's fine, because in the end game we only pick up 2 items here and we're done. It's a very quick visit. Okay. There we go. Got the trick. Cool. So yeah, what's with the missile here, normally that ball cannon room is really boring. Try to spice it up a little bit with the jump bomb jumps. And this room is all preparation for the next part, because we're getting close to one of the bosses, Crate. But in order to defeat Crate, we need to refill, because we need 15 missiles or so. And it's much faster to refill here after picking up the unknown item. And the reason I shot out the block you can see here, in order to allow my journey through right now. And as we're headed towards the boss, what I forgot to say is that in any percent you normally would have visited the Ridley area at this point, would already have super missiles, so with the crate takes 3 super missiles to go down, so you would end the fight in 2 seconds. However, since we need 15 missiles here, it's a bit longer. It's a bit longer and harder, more difficult in 100%. As you have all of these obstacles coming in the way of your missiles. Okay, cool. Still got them down reasonably fast. What you see me do there is a little bit of practice for the double bomb jumps. It's the quickest way to gain height. You can also do single bomb jumps, but it's a little bit slower. And I just used the boss dying animation to show that off. Because we'll be picking up Speed Booster, the main reason we got into this area first. After running for a while, Speed Booster allows you to get through blocks and destroy everything in your way, several enemies. But what you could also do, and what you'll see me do in the next run, is you can press down to charge it, and then release it in either an upwards, sideways or diagonal direction in order to do a so-called Shine Spark. Shine Sparks will will be used plenty in 100%. Some item pickups require shine sparks, but it's not per se the fastest thing to do, because shine sparks have a long start and bonking animation. So usually it's faster to just stick to speed booster and finish it off with a jump or something. And also reasonably quick crate area. So yeah, this cutscene you see at the end of crate area features Ridley. So in any percent, normally you would already have defeated Ridley when you got in here. This cutscene is actually skipped. So the developers actually had that in mind. Even though the game guides you in a certain direction through the use of the various statues that you have seen. If you activate some statues, they point you towards a specific location on the map. We only use one in my route, and that's the one at the very start. And it points to an item we'll pick up much later. And basically, by then we've picked up almost all of the items that the statues point to. Aside from one very special exception. But we'll get to that. I messed up that too. Okay. Barely didn't make that. But that's fine. Don't worry about that missile tank, we'll pick it up later. So, right now we're gonna head to Norfair, and this is also the second part of picking up Charging earlier, because you can set up for this trick. This Shine Spark chain I'm gonna do. And now you can Shine Spark all the way to the end of the area, and that's a bit faster than walking and jumping normally. So this cutscene here, you see a little sneak peek at your mission objective for this run, the initial mission objective for this game, beating Mother Brain. However, in this remake of the original Metroid, they added a whole bunch of stuff afterwards. More area, they also added more areas, more items, more upgrades from the later Metroids, Speed Booster being such an example. And let me tell you, in advance, Mother Brain is not the final boss. And one of these new areas they've actually added to this remake is the area we're gonna visit now, Criteria. Criteria is the landing site both for your ship, both in this game and in Super Metroid. And here we have another unknown item to collect, and Power Grip. You have to pick a Power Grip to continue into the rest of Norfair, because the place is fine to the right side of Norfair, and you can't continue until you've picked up Power Grip. There's no way around it. But it's one of the hard required items to pick up in this game. And the unknown items are basically, the lore is that our current suit is incompatible with them, but we'll see what they do later. So, with Speed Booster early, we can set up for this chain, the Shine Spark chain, and then we can get another item early, these Super Missiles. Super Missiles are an upgrade form of the upgraded missile variety. Separate ammo count, as you can see on the top of my screen. And they not only do 5 times more damage than the normal missiles, but they also can open green doors. Normal missiles open red doors, green missiles can open red doors and green doors. So that's... and we need them to collect more super missiles and other items on the way. No, I almost got that. I almost made the entire double bomb jump chain, but I fell down at the top, unfortunately. It's much faster to, if you fail initially to do the wall jumps and wait for the last platform to spawn, it's still faster than waiting for the entire tower to rise and climb from the bottom. But it's fine. Only a minor setback. We're still on our way. So let's head to the rest of Norway, shall we? What you may have noticed me doing so far is try to keep my health as high as possible, because we'll be heading through some dangerous areas. The reason so is well, we don't have a heat-proof suit. So if you are in superheated rooms, you take damage per frame that you're inside. The upgrade that makes you heat-proof is Variosuit, but the Variosuit item, we don't pick it up early in the game. The reason so is that we get it for free later in the game. So, and it counts the percentage of the item, so there's absolutely no reason to pick up Variosuit early. It's very slow to do so. So that's why, but luckily in 100% we have a lot of energy tanks, so going through a few heated room visits is fine. Like, if you're low on health, it can get dangerous. So that's why I'm trying to upkeep my health as high as I can. Do some wall jumps there in order to skip freezing the rippers. About freezing the rippers, at the statue I picked up Ice Beam. Ice Beam can freeze enemies, as you can see. In an older 100% route we would pick up Ice Beam later. However, due to the discovery of a certain glitch, which you'll be seeing later, it's much faster to pick up Ice Beam early, and henceforth us picking it up right now. Okay, I'm in excellent shape so far. Because here's where it gets a bit more tricky, because you saw me in that first heat room. Well, the second heat room is something special, right? Because first of all, the quickest way to traverse the heated room is by far the Shine Spark. Set up the spark, open the door, get through the room as quickly as you can. However, on the way back we also want to pick up an item, but it's at the very top part of the room. So in the setup you want to jump up, shoot the block and activate the spark as quickly as you can. I parked too low, so that means that I have to pick up the item later. Much faster to do so later at this stage. So that's unfortunate. It's cost me 20 seconds later into the run, but it can't be helped. Because when you drop too far, you'll be not in line with the item anymore, and you'll park right underneath it. Yeah, these heated rooms, I had plenty of health at my disposal still, so that's why I skipped the heal, otherwise I would have gone for a heal. And here, I always do single bomb jumps in order to guarantee that I don't fall during the bomb jumps there. As you see, I'm at low health. Luckily we'll refill it soon. Plus we're gonna get another big item early. Oh nice, this Ripper pattern is nice because it allows me quick movement through the room. What I'm picking up here is Screw Attack. Normally the game guides you towards this item much later through a huge way, but if you have missiles, it can jump a bit higher than normal due to a high jump upgrade we picked up. You can actually get there earlier, and Screw Attack is overpowered if you if you spin jump into any normal enemy, normal enemy, then basically kill them immediately. So it's a very powerful item, and it makes us able to traverse the game much quicker. In combination with all the other items, of course. So here we're coming up to another heated room. Normally, if you would have the heal at the high room, you would skip the one at screw attack. You would be at 2 or 3 E-tanks here, and if you really mess up, then you're getting really low on health here. However, since we refilled at screw attack, this room will be fine, and we're sort of experienced, so no big trouble here. That's the last dangerous heated room we're going through. There's one more after this, but that one's relatively short. You see that we're picking up a lot of items in Warfare. We won't be picking up all of them. It's much faster to pick a few items up a little bit later. We'll get there. We'll get there. Here we have Wave Beam. For a more efficient, more RTA viable cleanup of the Ridley area, Wave Beam is also sort of requirement. It's technically not required, because you can do a clip-like setup for a Shine Spark and do it without, but there's no RTA viable route yet, even though it would theoretically be faster, but there still needs to be done a bit more research into that, and I believe Dragon Fangs are in community tool-assisted speedrunner. Was working on a tool-assisted speedrun of that route. Okay. You saw me earlier in this room. You saw me clip some missiles through the floor. Normally, the game expects you to use Wave Beam there. However, you don't need Wheel. It's much faster to clip the 2 missiles you need through the ground. And for the second one, it's just a matter of laying the bombs. This is another mini boss. Okay, cool. Build up a frozen setup. Nice. Yeah, basically it's just a matter of clearing the vines on either side in order to make it fall down. However, that's not the only time we'll be seeing this boss, because, well, as we enter the Ridley area, and we see this beautiful cutscene featuring said Ridley person. In order to do our... normally the game... you would be stuck here. There's a shortcut you can use. However, casually, you would be stuck because you have no super missiles at this point, casually. However, the game guides you here because apparently the cocoon hatched and crawled down or something, and guides you towards this mini-boss fight, the Imago fight. And Imago, well, just wait and see. Just a matter of spamming your supers and missiles into them. And then you can clear it in one round and claim the original super missile tank. Normally this would be the first super missiles you get in the game casually. Here you see me set up for a cool little spark, which is actually a time save, so and quite difficult to set up because you have to charge your Shine Spark at the right tile. It's a bit tricky, but getting it feels really good. Really feels satisfying to get that trick, and it's faster to boot. So I see only pluses. So you saw me kill an enemy here. Well, that's for a very specific setup, and this is the reason we need Ice Beam, because when you freeze those 2 bugs on top of one another and kill them both with the bomb at the same time, the game tries to put you on top of the other bug, because you were on 1 bug originally, according to the game. However, the bug respawned defaulted back to its spawning point because you killed it. And therefore it's clips your vertical position through the floor, and you can clip through the floor without having to do a very lengthy Shine Spark speed boost setup. Okay, cool. Still got it. Normally you would have to do a Shine Spark or Speed Boost dodging that map, which is really annoying. However, thanks to that ice clip, we don't need to do that, and that was a goof on my part. Let's reset that back up. Yeah, this spark is a favorite of mine. It's nice and long. Cuts us all the way across the room, picks up an item across the way, and gets us to the position where we can set up another Shine Spark chain. So, first, charge the speed boost there, head through the door, open the door with a missile, because your beam won't reach yet. Charge here, jump up, oops, and mess up because you spin jumped instead of a normal jump where you can activate the Shine Spark. So that means I have to redo that again. So let's take it a bit more safe. So charge, shoot another missile, Shine Spark, charge, and I'll do it a bit safer and spark to the right. It's fast. It's a lot faster to do a diagonal spark there. If you slightly slip, then you can easily bonk into the wall and have to redo that all again. This is a kind of a beat to fuse kind of item to get, because all these purple blocks you see across my screen here are crumble blocks, so you fall through them if you land on them. And this next puzzle room actually is one where the wave beam is useful, because you need to clear the blocks in one go, and you need to time your jump. That's a 4-frame window on a 60 FPS game, so it's deceptively tight. And the wave beam lust route would set that up by clipping into the floor, Shine Sparking out of it, and then you Shine Spark down slope, which is not something you're supposed to be doing. Because normally, when you Shine Spark into the slope, as you may have seen a couple of times already, you start running on the slope. But this, yeah, basically you clip into the slope, and therefore you're Shine Sparking out of the slope, and then it counts as you running down the slope, and then you can still do the thing. And you still have that 4-frame window to deal with, so if you better get it for when you get the trick, you also need to get that frame range. So this room is always a bit deceptively, because falling down is slow. Because you have to set up a Shine Spark and spark go back up if you fall down. Luckily, I didn't fall down. I feel good. Feels less. I'm not a complete amateur, so that's good. Yeah, there's a lot of we'll be clearing the entire area of items, so there's a lot of items to collect. When you're starting out, it's very easy to forget one of these. Luckily, it's really down to muscle memory at this point, so I don't have to think about the items. I just pick them up. Except for that one item I sparked under. Normally that would be a reset point, but I know the way to pick it up quickly later. Because I have missed that setup on several occasions, and luckily it's not that much slower. Still, 20 seconds is painful. Oh! The third and last unknown item we'll be picking up. What you can do is you can shoot and activate it and be already miles away from it when you pick it up, because you only need to have touched it for a few frames in order to activate the pickup sequence. Really strange how it works. Also, for this boss fight, the Ridley fight doubling. Because we have supers, and well, supers in combination with normal missiles Makes it a really quick fight. Even in any percent where we only have 1 or 2 E-tanks and much less supers and normal missiles, this fight is just a matter of mashing missiles into them. And then 2 super drops is fine. Because he can also give you no supers, and you definitely want to be full on supers by the time you reach Turian, because that's where we'll be headed next, sort of. Because we need supers there. First, we're gonna clear the area, pick up one more item from here on out, and we have the Ridley area completely cleared. This way I'm heading out is the way you head into any percent, because there's this shortcut you can use over here a bit later. Of course, I don't freeze that enemy high enough. Luckily we have bomb jumps, so it's not too slow. And these owl-like enemies have a 75% chance to drop supers. But I got the worst end of the 75% 2 times on those 3, so that's nice. I'm basically 4 supers short of a full super missile count, but we'll deal with it. So normally the game, casually the game would guide you down and left in this room towards screw attack. However, since we already have screw attack, we can do the setup. We can do the escape here. In that room, I started running from a very specific position, because if you start too far to the left, you get speed boosted too early and you get hit in a so-called speed bump. If you do start too far to the right, then obviously you won't get the speed boost in time to do the Shrine Spark. So, back to Brinstar, because we got a few more items to collect in Brinstar. Both early Brinstar cleanup and late Brinstar cleanup pick up this item, but afterwards they do different stuff. After picking up the next item, I'll be headed to the top part of Brinstar to clean that up. And early Brinstar cleanup would head immediately to Long Beam and head to Turian afterwards. And this is a nice little setup you can do. Looks really flashy. And you can get the supers. It's probably a little bit faster to just charge it in here and head straight through. And then when you climb through the right through it for the second time, pick up the missiles then. However, it looks a bit flashy, and I like to do use some showmanship, and it's not that much slower, to be fair. So, the top part of Brinstar, cleaning it up. Normally, in early Brinstar, you would enter from the very right, so we'll basically be picking up the items in reverse order compared to early Brinstar cleanup. Early Brinstar cleanup would have to do all of this through double bomb jumps. So it's, in that sense, late Brinstar does this a bit faster. However, it has less hindrances. You can skip heals and whatnot. All in all, early Brinstar is ever so slightly faster, but it's down to preference, basically. With a few more new strats, early Brinstar and late Brinstar cleanup routes are more or less the same time-wise. Yeah, ledge grabbing can be your enemy at some points in the game. You don't want ledge grab, just want to fall through or jump straight up if you can. So now it's we need one more item, and then we can pick up the long beam, and then it's And we had Tuturian. So we had the way back that we came. Hopefully I get lucky here and get a few super drops, because unfortunately not. But those rippers can drop supers. I was a bit hopeful there. In fact, no, none of the rippers here have supers, so I guess I'll have to make do with this. Which is fine, albeit a little bit less optimal. So, Long Beam. The item you get guided towards after picking up Morph Ball, we pick it up now. And makes your beam travel across the screen, which is useful but not required. In any percent we skip the upgrade. We don't need it. It however makes your beam ever so slightly stronger, just like Ice Beam, just like Wave Beam and Shard Beam would. Especially Wave Beam would. So we enter Turian and we get another cutscene featuring the Metroids. The reason we want full super count for Turian is because the Metroids go down either in either in 5 missiles or 1 super. Well, killing them with 1 super is faster, but they don't have as high a chance to drop super, so it's down to luck whether you get super drops, and hopefully we get as many super drops from all the Metroids as we can, since that would make for a quicker Mother Brain fight as well, and quicker Metroid fights. But you do want to conserve your super missiles at some point in order to make sure that you have enough for Mother Brain, because I want a minimum of 4 to 6 for Mother Brain. Two super drops, nice, full on supers. Okay, cool. This is really good so far. Oh, don't ledge grab there. Whoa, easy. I think the super. That's not what you want to do. Yeah, the ring cast can get a bit trolly at times. And I got no further super drops, so I'll switch back to misses for now. Okay, that's 1. Okay, cool. 2 super drops means I can switch back, and I even clipped through that Metroid. Pure poetry, if you ask me. And I'll keep it at 6 because I want 6 for Mud Brain. Getting an extra super drop there is a bonus. So yeah, Mother Brain fight. Well, the Mother Brain room, you first have to clear the Zaptites. They take 7 misses each to go down. There's really not much to it, just a matter of dodging the turrets and getting through. The Mother Brain fight, basically the safe spot in the entire room is right next to her. You can stand on this ledge. I'm almost done. Cool! That was a relatively quick Mother Brain fight. So you can charge your speed booster on our dying body. That's because the collision detection is not working properly there for some reason. Whoop. Fell down for a bit. You want to grab that ledge, and come on. Don't drop wall jumps already. Cost me a little bit of time, but it's fine. Because normally at the top of that elevator I just entered is where the original Metroid ends. However, this game continues. We have this escape sequence, but we have a whole segment afterwards. So if I areas to clean up, and we'll do so. So, enter ship, Turian explodes, story ends. That's what you would think. However, Samus doesn't make a clean escape from this planet, because she puts down her suit. Surprise, surprise, she's a girl. Big revelation in 1986, but she gets ambushed by the space pirates. She thinks she escaped them, however, her ship will get shot down. So, shut down. New ship crash lands back onto the planet. And she's stuck on the planet Zebes without her power suit. So, she only has this emergency pistol. Full charge of that emergency pistol can stun enemies. And the pistol shots themselves can shoot out bomb blocks, as it turns out later. But we are gonna infiltrate a space pirate ship. Try and have any option of making it out alive. You can still wall jump, still jump very high, luckily. So this stealth section, because this is a stealth section, we usually call it Metal Gear Samus. We're gonna dodge some pirates, activate alarms on purpose, but mostly we want, from the most parts, we want the alarm turned off. Because when the alarm is on, some shutters come down and they impede your movement. I have safety saves prepared on my other save, so I don't need to save here. Normally this is where I would save, but I have a safety save prepared just in case. So I'm fine here. Because I dropped the ball jump, it went a little bit different. No, because if you could ledge grab, freeze the pirate, and then you would enter this room, and after getting through the crawl space, the alarm would be off. But it went a bit differently. This room, if you're really tight on wall jumps, I was stood barely too low, then you can skip activating the alarm. Now I just have to wait a little bit. It takes about 7 seconds for the alarm to turn off. 7 seconds of being unseen by a space pirate, I should add. Yeah, as you see, every time, sometimes I struggle with wall jumps. It happens. The nasty part, the only nasty part is that this section here, the suitless section, is filled with wall jumps, because the developers also added a few shortcuts in here, such as this one. What you saw me do there was a so-called jump extend, a spin jump, but I should cancel so it resets my vertical velocity. It also works in power suit form, but I figured that was a good moment to explain that. These searchlights trigger the alarm if you get detected. You can do a bit of an advanced strat to get through quickly, a bit quicker, but it's very precise and will cost you a lot when you fill it. Yeah, this upper section is really easy. You can easy to skip the alarm, and it doesn't really matter because here we use another shortcut, and once you fall through here, the alarm is off automatically. I will be heading from the Space Pirate mothership section to the Chozo ruins. At the Chozo ruins, Chozo were the original inhabitants of Zebes. Samus was raised by them. That's where she got her power suit from, and all these items are Chozo artifacts actually. However, since she lost her power suit, we have to look for a replacement, and luckily there is one in here, as it turns out. I accidentally triggered the alarm. Normally you can climb that wall without ever triggering the alarm. But I dropped one wall jump and got hit by the searchlights. Here we intentionally do trigger the alarm. Much faster to do so. I freeze the pirate on purpose. And if my timing hopefully is correct, fortunately I was slightly off, the pirate turns around just as you pass by and the alarm stays off. And that saves me half a second, about 1 second a few rooms from now. Even though this section, it's not too bad if you don't get it. But it's always nice if you do get it. Because you go into the safe room here and the alarm is off. Otherwise you would continue straight through to the right. That's Pirate with the power bomb tank. It's the last major upgrade we'll be getting. You can't capture him. It's just sprites, so you can't get the power bomb right there, even if you could cheat the game. This room, you need to be really careful. If you time your shot charge correctly, you can freeze that second space pirate as well, and you can continue straight through. Unfortunately, I was slightly off in my timing. Yeah, a lot of crawling, jumping, very important part of shooting patterns on this. Oh god. Falling down here is very punishing, because there are 6 space pirates at the bottom of that shaft. So, and it lags the game immensely, so getting out of that is quite a chore. And really painful. So, space pirates dodging gun will be heading towards the Chozo Runes test. But we, in the Zero Mission community, we always refer to him as Charlie. Basically, Charlie shows your mirror image, and at random intervals a symbol appears. Shoot the symbol and do that 4 times and you clear the test, get a power suit. First shot is always fixed. However, for the second and third shots, if you shoot your mirror image, on average, the symbol will spawn faster. And if you shoot your mirror image, you do take damage. So it's not something you do on low health. So, first shot's really simple. Wait for the symbol. First symbol. And here the test spawns, so I shoot myself. Wait for the seconds to spawn, and if you stay still for too long, Charlie will shoot lightning at you. And this is a really fast fight, actually. Not gonna lie, that was fast. So what I was trying to do there, if you turn around on the frame, you get locked into that animation. You regain your movement, and you fire some shots that glitch out upon leaving this cutscene. But we got a power suit back. Unknown items activate. They become plasma beam, gravity suit, and space jump. Space jump allows us to jump through the air, as I'll immediately demonstrate. Gravity suit allows you to move normally through water, so running and speed booster. A plasma beam does damage for each frame it's inside of the enemy, so it turns your beam into a really powerful weapon. And here you'll see me employ Gravity Suit to full effect. And I'm setting up for a Shine Spark Chain, as you're already seeing. Because I want to get 2 items, and it's much faster to get them in one Shine Spark Chain than to grab one item, get back, and do them separately, basically. So, but I got that, so that's cool. we have screw attack, so traversing this area is also really easy. Screw attack is really helpful because, like I said, it kills all normal enemies. The one spin jump and space jump does the rest. So now we make our way back to the Space Pirate mothership because, well, we got our upgrades back and a few extra, but we need the power bombs in order to get back to Brinstar Crate and the likes. In order to clean up the Crate, North Air and Criteria areas. So, but there's power bombs. The first pack you can obtain is at the very top of at the bridge of the Space Pirate mothership. So basically a few rooms before the final boss, actually. So yeah, it's a very lengthy detour, and it's sort of a holy grail for us if someone can figure out an early power bombs. So basically a way to obtain power bombs early. But it's not possible so far. I mean, no bosses, no mini bosses. TAS has managed to pick up one pack of power bombs early, but it did so by using a zombie hover, so you die immediately afterwards. So that's not useful at all. So yeah, those black pirates are invulnerable to screw attack and missiles. We'll deal with those a little bit later down the line. As we'll be making our way through. Just jumping over the black pirates is much faster here. The shots you saw me fire there were in order to activate the work robot. Those work robots, you can shoot them a little bit forwards in order to increase their speed. It is done a couple of times, but overall those things are really slow. So, we'll be making way through this tunnel here. We have to bomb out almost every block, but we can shoot out several of them as well. Yeah, that space pirate can get in your way. He's of no concern. And you see, the reason I switched to supers is because every super that you fire is a guaranteed kill. So what that does, we have to... Basically, power bomb management in this game is really tight. We get 2 packs, but we already have to use two of the 4 power bombs in the process. So power bomb management is tight, and in order to get to the other areas, we have to do a refill anyway. So, and it's the more units you have of your ammo, the better it is, because each unit of ammo takes a frame to refill. And that's why we switch to supers, because overall you use less units of ammo and therefore save frames. And here I want the alarm off in order to freeze the enemies in the door, and I can kill them without lagging the room. As we make our way out, because now we're headed into the reverse direction. But we use our power bombs to optimal effect in order to clear out this shortcut here. And that strat is in order to both kill the enemy and open the doors, so it's a bit of an optimization. And this room up here, we can use a bit of a shortcut. The other end contains crumble blocks, so you can't do this. You can only do this in this direction. And here we use the last power bomb in order to open this shortcut here. Bomb out the floor, get the supers here. And that's also a shortcut for the end game as well. Which means we don't have to make that detour towards the space, towards the bridge again. And we're almost up on our on a refill. That's basically in the save point after this room also refills, so what we'll do here, we'll refill. I'm 5 missiles short, but I know that since I sparked under that item, we'll pick it up later. Those green orbs can shoot lightning at you, but if you hold a charge shot, they are attracted to that and they won't shoot lightning. So, and the screw attack kills them, so it's much faster it's much better to do that. So here we're gonna do a trick that can only be done once, because we're gonna charge a Shine Spark through a breaking glass tube. And I missed the jump, so I have to charge it from below, which is a lot slower, unfortunately. We'll do so. We'll be fine. But this is a little bit more risky and a lot slower, because you can, those green orbs, lightning can shoot you out of your Shine Spark. And then you have to recharge it again, so it's a bit risky to do it this way. It's also a lot slower to do it this way. But we'll have to make do. So, let's head further on our way. We'll be collecting a few items on the way to Criteria. The reason I am killing all the enemies in this room because I was hoping for a power bomb drop. And if you get a power bomb drop here, you can do a later room a bit quicker. Because every power bomb, aside from extra drops, is routed out carefully in this run. You have exactly enough power bombs at all times to complete the run. Everything is carefully planned out. So, back in Criteria. This room we've been in before, but it's much faster to pick up this item now with Gravity Suit. Cool. And here's the start of another Shine Spark chain. With an extra power bomb block, you can clear out the blocks in the middle of the room and you can charge the speed boost from there. Which is the intended way. But without extra power bombs, it's much quicker to do this way. Yeah, that diagonal ball spark there is a very obscure item, I'd say. How the hell are you gonna find that on your casual playthrough? We'll be cutting the developers some leniency here. Use the super to open the door and we head back to Turian. Well, the explosion wrecked everything in Turian, so it looks a bit damaged, as you can see. But here we're gonna do a couple of things. What you saw me do on the top part from when I was headed towards here, you saw me combine a space jump with a speed boost. And that's called a space boost. And to obtain a certain item here, you can do it with a Shine Spark, but it's slower and much more difficult to set up. Or you can do a space boost. And this room is long enough to do so. However, this one is tricky, because you have to dodge the pillar, and you need to not get stuck on anything in the wall. If you're holding forwards, you can grab a single block in the wall and your space boost is done and you're not through the wall and you have to reset and you cry because you hate getting a time loss like that. It can happen, so that's why during a space boost you won't see me holding any forward pressing buttons. You don't need to, because as soon as you're in space boost mode, you'll just keep moving forward at that pace. So, this shortcut I opened earlier, this brings the run full circle, because we'll be at the start of the game. Brinstar. This is where we started, and this is where we're headed from, because we'll be heading immediately into the crate area. In order to clean up that area, you need gravity suit to clear that area. Not only because with gravity suit, and I got fire suit at the same time as well, by the way. You're not only invulnerable to damage, but you also can now set up a shine spark in the asset. In order to reach that item, and also to get back in time. And it's much faster to get this one now, since we now have base boost and high jump. And now we head back the way we exited crate, more or less, and get this item. This item, yeah, you can get it early, technically, but it's a bit quicker to get it now. And finally we use this shortcut to head towards Norfair. Because they build these shortcuts, but you need power bombs and screw attack to reverse them. So yeah, it's really a late game shortcut. And here we head into the lava, which we're also invulnerable to thanks to a gravity suit. And here you have a power bomb tank, and this is the power bomb tank the TES obtains using a zombie hover. At least the very special TES, the no bosses, no mini bosses, and I'm a moron. I used the power bomb there. So now I need to hope for a drop, because otherwise I'm one power bomb short and I need to refill on my way. Luckily there are some refills on the way, so I'll be fine regardless. However, it's far from ideal. And well, unfortunately no dice on the fancy space boost setup. That's what you can also do, and that's backup. What you can also do immediately at the start is this shine spark. But I always want to go for that one, because getting the space boost is definitely faster there. However, if you do the shine spark from the start, shine spark moves ever so slightly faster than a space boost for some reason. And that room is long enough where the shine spark catches up considerably compared to space boost. Even though space boost is still faster over there, it's not by a long shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And just for giggles, we'll try to get it on the way back. I was about to say, but yeah, we'll be fine. Let's see if we can get this. Nope. Okay. Pure time loss overall, but that's fine. Estimate's really generous. No biggie. Let's hope I can get a power bomb drop over here. Unfortunately, no dice so far. I still have a few more rooms where that can happen. Yeah, we're heading to this heated room right now, but since we now have fire suit and gravity suit, they aren't nearly as dangerous. This is also a room where you can get a few power bomb drops. Still no dice, that's fine. Few enemies can drop power bombs. I just need to get lucky, or I need to resort to a whatchamacallit, refill. Because we're almost at the end of the game. Oh, I completely forgot to pick up the item I missed. Luckily, that's very quick to pick up from here. Let me set up real quickly, because I sparked them an even item, so for 100% I need to pick that up. Let's see. Luckily, I can do a variation. And this space boost luckily can make it a little bit quicker. Also, I could theoretically... Yes, okay. Oh no, wait, never mind. I forgot that was a thing. Oh well. I can improvise, so I'm fine. Yeah, as you can see, it's much slower to traverse it without any form of speed boost. I tried to do fancy improvisation strats, and oh my god, I need to set it up again. Still fine. Whew. Making some silly mistakes here. This boss park is featured in the title screen demo, so if you keep on your title screen for too long, it starts showing gameplay. And this is how the original runners found out that that was actually possible in there. That was a good space boost. Reaching the end there is tricky because of the ceiling obstacles. No dice on the power bombs. So yeah, I guess I'll have to wing it without them. But so far we're in good shape for this one. We got every item we should have at this point. Now we're collecting a few more items. So you may recognize this setup I'm doing right now. Well, we used the power bomb to open the door there, and we set up the ball spark to get this item. And we couldn't have done it on our first visit because obviously we didn't have high jump back then, and the high jump is required to do shine sparks in morph ball form. And here you see how close our power bomb management is. I was still in supers. But I should be fine for most part of this area. I do have to refill right before using the last one, and luckily it's right on the way. We'll be fine. We're almost there. The nasty thing is this power bomb tank I'm headed towards is the most out of the way item in the whole game. It's all the way at one corner of the map, and there's no way to get it early, so that's why it's a pain, but that's also why you never forget that specific item. And here is a good opportunity to do a refill. So I was literally one power bomb short. In a few rooms from now you have to clear a barrier using power bombs. And after that you get a power bomb tank and a power bomb routing continues. However, since we've done an additional refill, we're fine in terms of power bomb management now. Okay. And the tank is in this room, and I'll show you where it is. It's actually right here. Really in the out of the way corner, and now we can head back to... From here on out, we'll pick up one item on the way and then head back to the other end of Suitless section, and then we'll pick up one more item right before the final boss, do the final boss, and we're done. Sounds easy, right? Well, I mean, I'm sure by now you recognize this part, because this is the same route we took when we just got in our suits. And it's also the fastest route out of here, so it's fine. And one day I'll get that shine spark there. It's very, very precise. I did manage to once get the startup animation going, but then another space pirate fell on top of me and boosted me out of it, unfortunately. Because if you can shine spark down there, you actually manage to get through that room before the corridor closes, and it's a little bit faster. So it's definitely a bit more optimal. It's also a lot harder. It's very, very precise. The GES does it, as far as I'm aware. Only the TES does it, as far as I'm aware, I should say. It's by no means consistent, because it's I think nearly frame perfect, but I could be wrong there. So to the start of the Suitless section we go. And then it's all the way back to the final boss area, and right before the final boss area there's the last item we need to collect, and then we do the final boss. We're donezo with this run. Lovely stretch you can do, a bit of a looping. Also very consistent strat that allows you to open the corridor before you pass through. And we skipped the map earlier, that means we have to skip it again. I forgot to mention that the map, obtaining the map, it's both unnecessary but it's also slow, because it takes, the whole animation takes 10 seconds. So it's really painful if you accidentally get the map, and it's considered a mark of shame in the Zero Mission community, so yeah, definitely no. But the last power bomb tank, we already had all the normal missiles. I can actually check, because as you can see, you see this on the left side of my screen, you see this checklist. It happens if you start from a cleared game file. And as you may have seen, I've only had one energy tank left. There's also this one red dot missing on the top left of my screen. That's the last E-tank that's right before the final boss. So by this point I'm almost 100% sure that I'm gonna finish 100%. Lovely, right? Because I mean, I just need to not forget the item, and we're set. Here we can do this room a little bit quicker, since we now have power bombs, so we can clear out all of the blocks. Here I'm using, this time around I'll be using normal missiles here. That's because we need all the supers. We need our supers for the final boss, and we're not gonna refill again. Normally the game expects you to clear all of this using a single power bomb, but you can use the tunnel and the power bomb sure, in order to do it a little bit quicker. Okay, this is the setup for the last trick. What we do, cut through the floor. The fastest way to go at this is through the space jumps. It's very precise, very hard, and I'm very proud that I've gotten it first try. Okay, no shine spark, but that's fine. Very proud. You got all the items, and you could also see if you've gotten all the items through the final boss. If you don't have all the items, the final boss takes 6 supers to go down. If you have all the items like I have, it takes 18 supers to go down. And that missile shooting is a practice for the movement I have to do. Ooh, teasing, teasing, ooh, no! Didn't get the setup for the missile glitch. If you manage to keep the missile alive while he's transitioning to the countdown, because we're getting a countdown sequence here, the missiles glitch out because they change graphical texture. So, we're on the escape part of the run. We have one big trick left ahead of us. We're almost done. Normally I would say tech, get ready on time, but it's my own timer, so we'll be fine. And all the doors close behind you, so you can't even get back if you wanted to. But we're through. We're gonna steal one of the escape pods. I will head out with one big shine spark chain left to do. And luckily I have some supers left, so I can make the setup a little bit quicker. All the doors close behind you, so I need to get the proper setup going from this room onwards. Okay. Okay, of course that happens, but that's fine. So, shine spark chain 1. And now we can ball spark all the way to the last room of the game. And we have in the last room of the game we have to fight 2 black pirates, so we'll using our plasma beam. Okay, cool. Time. 1:21:40. Not bad, not bad. That's pretty decent considering my PB is 1:17:26, which was godlike for me on my level, so I'm really happy with this. Thank you, thank you. I really enjoyed it. It's a bit of a shame I missed a couple of tricks. I had to do slow setups. I messed the thing up, so I can definitely see where I could have improved this. But it's nice to be able to do it and just talk about the run throughout. Go ahead. No problem. I'll see you guys in a few hours because then it's I'll have to gonna show you all some Pokemon.